Egypt and the classical world cross-cultural encounters in antiquity. The Kellis Mammisi, a painted chapel from the final centuries of the ancient Egyptian religion. Time of Nero. The temple stopped functioning in the course of the 4th century AD, and the building was robbed of its stone subsequently, at an unknown date. Only a few blocks with relief decoration remained in situ. From these it is clear that building works at the Kellis temple started in the 1st century AD. The earliest inscriptional evidence dates to the time of Nero AD 54–68. A fragmentary cartouche from the entrance gateway dates perhaps to Hadrian AD 117–38, and other work was carried out under Antoninus Pius AD 138–61. and Pertinax AD 193. Finding Pertinax here is remarkable, because there are no other monuments in Egypt on which his name appears in hieroglyphs. Pertinax ruled for only 3 months in AD 193, and the relief therefore shows how essential the role of the pharaoh was still considered to be at this time. In this remote region at the border of the Roman Empire, knowing the identity of the emperor was still vital for the proper form of decoration on the walls of a village temple. Nevertheless, in Dakhla and Karga the priests deviated from the practices in the Nile Valley, because they consistently reversed the order of the names of the emperor in the 2 cartouches. This remarkable show of independence may be explained by the local attachment to rules of decorum set under the last Ptolemies. The temple decoration in the oases was thus provided with a reference to the Hellenistic kings, which must have enhanced the religious significance of the temple decoration with a historical dimension in accordance with local tradition. The Kellis temple is one of the smallest temples known in Egypt, with only a few tiny rooms. Its small size may be explained by a scarcity of local funds in this village, which could not procure large amounts of stone from the local quarries and pay for the necessary stonemasons. The financing of local temple buildings in the villages of Roman Egypt probably did not involve the central government at all, despite the practice of inscribing the name of the emperor on its walls. At the same time, this small temple was set within a large enclosure that contained a wide array of buildings associated with the temple cult. Not much of this enclosure, and its various subdivisions, has been excavated, so its purpose remains subject to speculation. Next to the stone temple, on a parallel axis, stands the Mammisi. This building consists of an inner room measuring 4.8 meters in width and 12 meters in depth, with a slightly larger forecourt. This makes the Mammisi much larger than any room of the stone temple, but it was built of mud brick, which made its construction much less costly. In contrast to the stone temple, the Mammisi is preserved in its entirety, even though the vaulted roof collapsed in antiquity. The inner room of the building was excavated between 1991 and 2004, and the fragments of its former painted plaster decoration were retrieved. The conservation and reconstruction of the paintings continued between 2004 and 2011, after which work at the site had to be interrupted. The walls of the Mammisi still stand up to 3.5 meters in its southwest corner. Its decoration consists of paintings on a thin layer of plaster, which is still attached to the walls. The entire vaulted ceiling, which contains most of the figurative decoration, had become fragmented, and only small parts remained attached to clusters of bricks from the collapsed vault. In order to conserve and reconstruct the decoration, a system was devised by the conservators Michel Berry and Laurence Blondox by which the thin layer of plaster could be removed from its brick support and united with the loose fragments that had been found in its surroundings. Reconstructed scenes could be glued together and fixed on a wooden support, which allows handling and will ultimately make it possible to display the scenes.